Hello, everyone. This is Waisa Rafiq, and I'm a Chevening scholar from Pakistan, and I'm a practicing lawyer as well. Currently, I'm pursuing an LLM in criminal law and criminal justice from University of Sussex, Brighton, England. Yes. And because it's International Women's Day today, so we just thought to put this session together with all these amazing women who are doing amazing job in their respective fields. All of them have been strong advocates for gender equality and women empowerment. And look at them, beautiful women. So before introducing, in fact, instead of me introducing them, I would just walk you quickly through their profiles and they would introduce themselves. So let's just begin with Aisha, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Aisha.
Hello. Yeah, my name is already out there, so you know who I am. I'm from Sri Lanka and I'm a journalist, currently studying my master's in gender studies at Sussex here. So I specialize mostly in minority issues, which includes women, the queer community, and Muslim women's issues back at home.
Yeah. Lovely. So, can I request you, Hawa, to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you very much, Wiser. I'm Hawa Ocheni. I'm studying at the University of Warwick and I'm pursuing an LLM in International Development Law and Human Rights. I am a legal practitioner from Nigeria and I am into mainly a human rights issue and I'm standing for the domestication and implementation of the Maputo Protocol, that is the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa. That is what I'm pushing for to be domesticated in Africa.
Lovely. That's amazing. Jessica.
Hi everyone. Just like Aisha, my name is already out here, so I'm just gonna go straight into what else about me. I am studying for a master's in marketing and consumer psychology currently at the University of Sussex. I am also a Chevening scholar. So I don't like to call myself a women's rights advocate because I feel like there's a lot of people that are doing more work that deserve that title. What I would say, however, is that I definitely am interested in women's liberation and the liberation of all marginalized groups. And like in the past, I have had the opportunity, privilege to work in projects that have had that direction. But mainly my work is in marketing. And so obviously, whenever I have the opportunity to help women, I always take that up.
That's amazing. So that is how you are an advocate for women's rights, and
Yeah.
you very much are.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but there's people that are actually doing work like Aisha that I don't
Yeah,
wanna equate myself to, if you get what I mean.
Absolutely,
I don't know
absolutely. I agree with
why
you.
she wants to say that. Yeah. Moving on. Hi, Arafa.
Hello. So my name is Arafa. I'm from Chad. I'm currently studying LLM International Human Rights Law in at
Yeah.
the University of Sussex, and I'm a Chevening scholar. And yeah, I'm also really into questions of gender equalities, and yeah, women rights and advocacy and all that. Yeah.
Hmm. Perfect. Thank you very much for sparing time for the session, first of all. And now moving on to the theme. We already know and we've already been talking about choose to challenge tagline. So the next thing that I would perhaps want to you people to talk about is what you choose to challenge this year as a pledge to International Women's Rights Day or International Women's Day. Uh, this could be any social taboo. This could be any legal issue, as Aisha usually raises about family laws in Sri Lanka, particularly. I know because I've been in another talk with her as well. So just anything that you choose to challenge this year, and you think is uh, really, worth challenging. Can I ask you, Aisha, first?
Okay, so anything that I would choose to challenge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just the stereotype that women belong in a particular role And I think
Uh-huh.
women belong everywhere. So every time we see stuff like, oh, women don't belong in the kitchen, and I'm like, we can belong in the kitchen. We can belong in the boardroom, on the streets, anywhere
Yeah.
we want to. And we just belong. We make up like what, half the population in most places. And you can't just say women are equal in the sense that women are equal, because we're already, we should just be accepted that we are
Mm-hmm.
here and we are staying. So
Mm.
yeah, that is one of the things I would like to choose to challenge, including male hierarchies in our workplaces where we are like mansplained and not listened to most of the time. And I would probably choose to challenge myself to be a lot more assertive in an office or in any corporate work environment where you would be listened to. And also where you wouldn't be written off for being like, oh, moody or bossy or a bitch, because no, I'm just a boss in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's interesting, really. Hawa, what do you? I know you love challenging stereotypes, like
Yeah,
everyone.
I,
To be honest,
I
yeah,
think
he's one of us.
most lawyers and everybody in gender and human rights issue, we like to challenge, stereotypes. This year,
We
I
get paid
choose
for this as well. So yeah.
this year I'm choosing to challenge the asymmetrical treatment of boys and girls in families. I I want that girls and boys should be treated equally. I shouldn't be treated, differently just because I was born a lady. So my dream is that most girls should be sent to school, and by like virtue of, and that is one of my reasons for wanting the Maputo Protocol to be domesticated around Africa. By domesticating this law, girls will be in school because the Maputo Protocol is specific and peculiar to the needs of African women. Specifically, it outlines everything. It is against FGM. It is pro African women basically. So that's, I'm challenging the treatment of boys and girls, asymmetrical treatment of boys and girls, basically.
Interesting. That's very much uh, the essence of gender equality. The treatment, the discriminatory treatment that starts from the very beginning. So yeah, that's really important. Jessica.
Hi. So for me, when I was thinking around the topic choose to challenge, it just brought to mind a lot of conversations that have been going on, especially because, given COVID and lockdown rules, the people that I've been engaging have mostly been a lot of chauvinists. And so the things that have been coming up mainly that I decided to choose to challenge is mainly misogynistic and patriarchal statements that come in the form of jokes. So I think that most of the time when um, friends, people around you, people in your immediate circle say things or make certain assertions that are stereotypical, that are misogynistic, that are very, very patriarchal, we tend to let them slide because we assume that it's a joke and it's nothing. But
Yeah.
the one of the most important things to realize is that it's those things that we let slide that end up fueling further conversation that leads to all of these other practices that we're trying to fight against. So, and I think that, and this is because I was thinking of how much micro can you make the the movement such that it will affect everybody individually. And that's one of the things that I think is a way to target that would make everybody be able to do something in their own small corner. When you challenge statements that are patriarchal in your own circles, if you agree to be the party pooper that makes people stop laughing and hate you for being the one that destroyed a perfectly good joke because that joke was sexist or because that joke was patriarchal or because that joke was built on some gender stereotype that we're trying to change, then we can move somewhere. Because obviously the bigger conversations are happening. People are aware, but it's the fact that they think it's away from them. They think that, I am not like um, being violent to a woman, and so it's okay. Meanwhile, I can perform all of these other microaggressions to the community as a whole, or to queer people, or to women, or to other marginalized groups in a way, and then be okay. So for me, what this today's celebration brings to mind is targeting things in our own small circles that gradually help move us towards the goal.
That pretty much sums up uh, for the whole day, I think. Arafa, what do you think?
Yeah, for me the challenge is to continue because I was advocating in my family against
Mm-hmm.
FGM. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
female genital mutilation, and coming from a country where tradition and religion are really the center of everything. I think it's for me the real challenge will be to try to advocate outside of my family at maybe a more local level or national level. Why not? Because this question of female genital mutilation is really important, and it's
Mm-hmm.
continue to arose in Chad, maybe not really in cities, but more in rural areas. So yeah, for me, this is the challenge for this year.
And I'm sure this is one of the many. It's not the only challenge, and you
Yeah.
know that goes the same for all of us. Well, so just a little bit of rethinking and reimagining the whole idea of celebrating International Women's Day and Women's Day in generally, because I'm sure we are all celebrating at some point in time in our countries as well. We do in Pakistan, at least I can say about that. Um, what does it mean to you, really, Aisha? How would you sort of define International Women's Day in your own way, and what does it really mean to you? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, unpopular opinion, but I really dislike days that are specifically for causes because I feel
Ooh.
they're very tokenistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love the campaigns that come out because of it and the awareness that spread because of it through, like, say, rights organizations, advocates, or NGOs and such. But mostly it's such a corporate, such a capitalistic thing, right? You know, buy one, get one free, gift your mother this, like treat your woman this, and it's mostly about it's so tokenistic. So I personally dislike it very much. But I do find things like Choose Your Challenge quite interesting because you get more women speaking up at least, and you get more women speaking about a particular topic at least, and making noise that's heard for one day. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Hava.
Yes, International Women's Day is it's a very important day for me because when I think about this day and like I remember last year, 2020 International Women's Day, I spent it with Wiser. We reflected on a lot of things and we reflected on Asmara Jangir, who's like a human rights advocate in Pakistan. She's an erudite lady and she made strong contribution to the she contributed strongly to the female lens in Pakistan. And we joined the Aurat March, though virtually, we joined the Aurat March and we indulged in things like Mera Jism, Mera Mazi Hai. That is my body, my right movement, which is very
Oh, that
prevalent
is
in
for serious controversies
yes,
in Pakistan. Mera jism, meri marzi.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes, yes. And though I'm from Nigeria, Pakistan is my second home. Like it is a home to me. And International Women's Day actually makes me to reflect on a lot of things. I think about my mother, I think about my sisters, and I also think about my father and my brother. I think about my brother in Nigeria. I think about my brothers in Pakistan. And my father in Pakistan. Muhammad Rafiq. I think about Sohaib Rafiq. They have made indelible impacts in our lives. So when I think of International Women's Day, I do not only think about women. It's all encompassing because I believe women need men and men need women. So this is this is all I have to say about International Women's Day. I reflect on a lot of things about the women in my life, about the men in my life, and women like Catherine McKinnon, Kimberly Crenshaw, Arundhati Roy, who have really, 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 really made a mark as far as human rights is concerned.
Yeah, and they've contributed to the cause of women's equality as well a lot. Interesting. That's quite an interesting way of looking at it, to be honest. Jessica, do you also remember all the important women in your life, or you remember all the important men, or both, or what? How do you do it?
Well, so for me, I do appreciate the fact that it's a day where there's a lot of conversation about women's issues and a lot of it's sort of like a call to action for women everywhere to speak up about things they care about.
Mm-hmm.
But just like Aisha said yesterday, last night, yeah, I read an article by a lady, Lena something. I've forgotten her surname. I'm so sorry, but yeah, it was a really good article, and it was talking about how she hates International Women's Day
Mm-hmm.
because you know obviously about the fact that it's tokenistic. But one of the things that she mentioned is about how it's really annoying to be told Happy Women's Day because really, what are we happy about? We've been celebrating Women's Day for about 110 years so far, and things like honor killings are still a thing. Almost every woman in your circle that you know has experienced sexual harassment one way or the other. Rape is still being used as a tactic of war.
Mm-hmm.
People, domestic violence is still on the rise. Like there's all of these things. Child marriages are still a thing. you know so it's a little difficult for people that are whose lived experiences are these things that we some of us get to talk about only in statistics and only get to read in the papers or see on TV. And so when you say Happy Women's Day, who are you saying it to? Who are you saying it about? you know what really are we happy about? That's the kind of things that we should be thinking about on this day. I mean, I do like the fact that on this day we can have these kind of discussions, and also let people be aware that these are things that are happening, or just people do know that they're happening, but just bring it to the fore of their minds. So that's a good thing. But it would be much better if when we say Happy Women's Day, it's because I can feel free to walk around my neighborhood when it's past 8 p.m. without fearing that I'm not gonna go back home safely. When I can work for all the days in the year without having experienced any sexual harassment. That's the kind of things that we would be able to say Happy Women's Day and then actually feel happy. Not because it's a token that we're given, take this for your troubles and then we can forget about you for the remaining days of the year.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, Jessica, because at least on these days we kind of initiate uh, the conversation and we talk about issues and we at least do some pledges and
Sorry, I
raise
don't
the
hear
issues
you.
because,
Do you hear me?
yeah, you're very much audible, Arafa. Um, yeah, I think I go with the Jessica gang, perhaps.
Sorry, do you hear me?
I didn't
Yes,
know there were
Arafa.
gangs, but okay, welcome.
Thank you. Arafa, yes, you're very much audible. Can I please ask you about your thoughts on International Women's Day? Arafa, can you hear me, please?
I think we lost her. Oh,
No, I think that there's a lag. She's experiencing a lag. So,
Uh,
Arafa, whenever you hear this, it's your turn to speak.
yeah.
Okay, so because I wasn't hearing Wiser, so I was like, okay, maybe it's not my turn to speak. Okay, so for me, the 8th of March is also about taking a break and, you know, just see how the fight for human rights, the improvements made during the year for human rights, and also to see what kind of jobs still remain to be done. So yeah, so also to reflect about all these, because yeah, in my country it's more about celebration and parties, and yeah, a big parade from every woman, from companies, or yeah. and yeah, I must be honest. Years ago, I was really enjoying this. I was like, yeah, this is, yeah, go, yeah, coming out and wearing a lot of makeup, and just working. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's really about that. But now, yeah, I can say that I have changed my mind. And it's also important to acknowledge that we always still learning about feminism, about, yeah, about human rights, about what is right, what is wrong. As a woman, we are
Yeah.
not perfect, and we are, maybe we can have a non-feminist view about something. And the best thing is to acknowledge that, and to know that you can always still learning about how women fight throughout the world for our rights, and also to think about the sacrifices some women made, I don't know where, but everywhere in the globe, women are dying for us. And yeah, and it's really important for me to just take a break during this day, and to think about all that things.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much why this is here for, because I very much like the point that you mentioned, that it's an important way to kind of gauge the 1 year progress, that the journey that we have covered, and where do we lack, and how are things going to run for the next year. So yeah, that's, I think, an interesting way of looking at it as well. So that's pretty much about it, guys. I think that that's been a very, very useful insight for people watching us, and it's yeah. I mean, with what Arfa said, I would like to end this saying that, let's say, for the upcoming year, the progress that we make, and the kind of goals that we have set, and the taboos that we challenge, let's see if you're able to achieve them or not, or do them properly or not. But every year, I think that in my country, I see, with the passage of some new legislations and new policies, and a lot of new organizations being set up, and I'm sure the same would go for your respective countries as well, that we are at least covering some distance. So that's how we get closer um, to the destiny, and that's what I think. Any final thoughts, anyone?
Um, Aisha wants to say something.
Please.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, yeah, just keep doing what you have to do to fight against the patriarchy. I know that sounds very
Absolutely.
stereotypical, but yeah, like, I think
Yeah,
women just existing and going to work and studying in itself is a revolution in its own,
Yeah.
yeah,
especially given the
yeah.
countries we are from, which are the developing world. And everything we do is an act of resistance, which is kind of cool if you think about it that way. But also to always keep an eye out for other women who need help and always pass it on. Like, never be, never feel insecure by other women just because they are succeeding, or by other men even. Just always be the better person, help them,
Yeah.
and yeah, do stuff.
Yeah.
While
I
saying
think
Absolutely.
what
you're
I
not
would
proud.
say would be that wherever you find yourself, just make sure you're using your privilege to help further the movement. Because if like, and the thing is that privilege can come in very perceived normal situations. You could have the privilege of just having conversations with people who are higher up and advocating for more women inclusion in your job, for instance, more women inclusion in, for instance, admissions into your institution, for instance, helping more women get access to Chevening, for instance. But basically, wherever you are, whatever your privilege is, as women, as men who understand the importance of the movement, make sure that wherever you are, you're being an advocate in your own small circle, because that's how we're going to get it to be a big thing. Like if we get the micro right, then the macro would move towards, where we can move towards liberation together, basically. So that's the final words that I would like to leave people with.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, whatever is being done, it should be a contribution towards the cause, towards the bigger cause, and it's definitely adding up to it. Yes, Hava.
yes. I very much agree with what Aisha and Jessica, just said right now. We should keep together as women, like as Mackinnon will say, Catherine Mackinnon. The flap of a wing of a butterfly in Brazil can actually set off a tornado in Texas. So when you're in your little corners doing something, like whether you're in Pakistan or you're in, Chad, or you're in Sri Lanka, or you're in India, wherever you are, just do it in your own little corner, and connect with women, so that it will have that butterfly effect. And there's continuity, not just you sitting in your corner in Nigeria or sitting in your corner in Pakistan. So when women connect together, we can have continuity, and we'll be able to make that mass difference that we're looking for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think platforms like this give an opportunity of connection, which is, I think, really important and needed to foster the cause. Thank you very much, guys, for sparing your time. Thank you for joining this conversation and putting some really, really, really interesting points. I think each one of us being here, talking about this cause and connecting for this on one call also means how eager and passionate we are towards bringing the change. And we hope that we are able to bring the change that we want one fine day. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Arpa.
having us,
Thank
Wiser. This
you.
has been great. Good night,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Good
you. Thank
night.
you, Jessica. Thank you, Arafa. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Hawa. Bye bye, guys. Thank you. With
Bye
this, we end
bye.
the conversation. Please keep commenting. And if you have any questions from any of the speakers, please feel free to comment, and I'll just turn them towards the respective speakers, and we'll be happy to answer. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Wiser.